The Book of Shemot, Exodus, Chapter 1. Now these are the names of the children of Yasharel, which came into Mitzrayim. Every man and his household came with Jacob: Reuben, Shimon, Levi, Yehudah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Mitzrayim already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Yasharel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Mitzrayim, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people,
Behold, the people of the children of Yasharel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falls out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramesses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Yasharel. And the Mitzrayim made the children of Yasharel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar, and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service, wherein they made them to serve, was with rigor. And the king of Mitzrayim spoke to the Ivri midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said,
When ye do the office of a midwife to the Ivrith woman, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
But the midwives feared Elohim, and did not as the king of Mitzrayim commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Mitzrayim called for the midwives, and said unto them,
Why have you done this thing, and have saved the men children alive?
And the midwives said unto Pharaoh,
Because the Ivrith women are not as the Mitzrith women, for they are lively, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them.
Therefore Elohim dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied, and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared Elohim, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying,
Every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive.
Shemot, Exodus, Chapter 2. And there went a man of the house of Levi, and took to be his woman a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived, and bore a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein, and she laid it in the reeds by the river's brink. And his sister stood afar off, to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river's side. And when she saw the ark among the reeds, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him, and said,
This is one of the Ivrim children.
Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter,
Shall I go and call to you a nurse of the Ivrith women, that she may nurse the child for you?
And Pharaoh's daughter said to her,
Go.
And the maid went, and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her,
Take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give you your wages.
And the woman took the child, and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and became her son. And she called his name Moshe. And she said,
Because I drew him out of the water.
And it came to pass in those days, when Moshe was grown, that he went out unto his brethren, and looked on their burdens. And he spied a Mitzri smiting an Ivri, one of his brethren. And he looked this way, and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Mitzri, and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Ivrim strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong,
Wherefore do you smite your fellow?
and he said,
Who made you a prince and a judge over us? Intend you to kill me as you killed the Mitzri?
and Moshe feared and said,
Surely this thing is known.
Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moshe. But Moshe fled from the face of Pharaoh, and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water, and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moshe stood up and helped them, and watered their flock. And when they came to Reuel their father, he said,
How is it that ye are come so soon today?
and they said,
A Mitzri delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock.
and he said unto his daughters,
And where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him that he may eat bread.
And Moshe was content to dwell with the man. And he gave Moshe Zipporah his daughter, and she bore to him a son. And he called his name Gershom, for he said,
I have been a stranger in a strange land.
And it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Mitzrayim died, and the children of Yasharel sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried. And their cry came up unto Elohim by reason of the bondage. And Elohim heard their groaning, and Elohim remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Yitzchak, and with Yaakov. And Elohim looked upon the children of Yasharel, and Elohim had respect unto them. Shemot, Exodus, chapter 3. Now Moshe kept the flock of Yitro his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of Elohim, even to Horeb. And the angel of Yahweh appeared unto him in a flame of fire, out of the midst of a thorn bush. And he looked, and behold, the thorn bush burned with fire, and the thorn bush was not consumed. And Moshe said,
I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the thorn bush is not burnt.
And when Yahweh saw that he turned aside to see, Elohim called unto him out of the midst of the thorn bush, and said,
Moshe, Moshe,
and he said,
Here am I.
and he said,
draw not nigh hither. Put off your shoes from off your feet, for the place whereon you stand is holy ground.
Moreover he said,
I am the Elohai of your father, the Elohai of Abraham, the Elohai of Yitzhak, and the Elohai of Yaakov.
and Moshe hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Elohim. And Yahweh said,
I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Mitzrayim, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows, and I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Mitzrayim, and to bring them up out of that land unto a good land, and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanim, and the Hittim, and the Amorim, and the Perizim, and the Hivim, and the Yevusim. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Yasharel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Mitzrayim oppress them. Come now therefore, I will send you unto Pharaoh, that you may bring forth my people, the children of Yasharel, out of Mitzrayim.
and Moshe said unto Elohim,
Who am I that I should go into Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Yasharel out of Mitzrayim?
and he said,
Certainly I will be with you, and this shall be a sign unto you that I have sent you. When you have brought forth the people out of Mitzrayim, ye shall serve Elohim upon this mountain.
and Moshe said unto Elohim,
Behold, when I come unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, The Elohai of your fathers has sent me unto you, and they shall say unto me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them?
and Elohim said unto El Moshe,
Ahaya Asher Ahaya, I am that I am.
and he said,
Thus shall you say unto the children of Yasharel, Ahaya I am has sent me unto you.
And Elohim said moreover unto Moshe,
Thus shall you say unto the children of Yasharel, Yahuwah Elohai of your fathers, the Elohai of Avraham, the Elohai of Yitzhak, and the Elohai of Yaakov, has sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my mention unto all generations. Go and gather the elders of Yasharel together, and say unto them, Yahuwah Elohai of your fathers, the Elohai of Avraham, of Yitzhak, and the Elohai of Yaakov, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you, and seen that which is done to you in Mitzrayim. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Mitzrayim, unto the land of the Canaanim, and the Hittim, and the Amorim, and the Perizim, and the Hivim, and the Yevusim, unto a land flowing with milk and honey. And they shall hearken to your voice, and you shall come, you and the elders of Yasharel, unto the king of Mitzrayim, and ye shall say unto him, Yahuwah Elohai of the Ephraim has met us, and now let us go, we beseech you, 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to Yahuwah Eloheinu. And I am sure that the king of Mitzrayim will not let you go, no, not by a mighty hand. And I will stretch out my hand, and smite Mitzrayim with all my wonders, which I will do in the midst thereof. And after that he will let you go, and I will give this people favor in the sight of the Mitzrayim. And it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty. But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor, and of her that sojourns in her house, jewels of silver, and jewels of gold, and raiment. And ye shall put them upon your sons, and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Mitzrayim.
Shemot, Exodus chapter 4. And Moshe answered and said,
But behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice, for they will say, Yahweh has not appeared unto you.
And Yahweh said unto him,
What is that in your hand?
and he said,
A rod?
and he said,
Cast it on the ground.
and he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent. And Moshe fled from before it. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Put forth your hand, and take it by the tail,
and he put forth his hand, and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand.
that they may believe that Yahuwah Elohai of their fathers, the Elohai of Avraham, the Elohai of Yitzhak, and the Elohai of Yaakov, has appeared unto you.
And Yahweh said furthermore unto him,
Put now your hand into your bosom.
and he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. And he said,
Put your hand into your bosom again.
and he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe you, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also these 2 signs, neither hearken unto your voice, that you shall take of the water of the river, and pour it upon the dry land, and the water which you take out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land.
And Moshe said unto Yahweh,
Oh my Adonai, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since you have spoken unto your servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue.
And Yahweh said unto him,
Who has made man's mouth, or who makes the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I, Yahuwah? Now therefore go, and I will be with your mouth, and teach you what you shall say.
and he said,
O my Adonai, send, I pray you, by the hand of whom you will send.
and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Moshe, and he said,
Is not Aharon the Levi your brother? I know that he can speak well, and also behold, he comes forth to meet you, and when he sees you, he will be glad in his heart. And you shall speak unto him, and put the words in his mouth, and I will be with your mouth, and with his mouth, and will teach you what ye shall do. And he shall be your spokesman unto the people, and he shall be, even he shall be to you, instead of a mouth, and you shall be to him instead of Elohim. And you shall take this rod in your hand, wherewith you shall do signs.
And Moshe went and returned to Yitro his father-in-law, and said unto him,
Let me go, I pray you, and return unto my brethren which are in Mitzrayim, and see whether they be yet alive.
And Yitro said unto Moshe,
Go in peace.
and Yahweh said unto Moshe in Midian,
Go, return into Mitzrayim, for all the men are dead which sought your life.
And Moshe took his woman and his sons, and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Mitzrayim. And Moshe took the rod of Elohim in his hand. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
When you go to return into Mitzrayim, see that you do all those wonders before Pharaoh which I have put into your hand. But I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. And you shall say unto Pharaoh, Thus says Yahuwah, Yasharel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto you, Let my son go, that he may serve me. And if you refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay your son, even your firstborn.
And it came to pass by the way in the inn that Yahweh met him, and sought to kill him. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone, and cut off the foreskin of her son, and cast it at his feet, and said,
Surely a bloody man are you to me.
So he let him go. Then she said,
A bloody man you are, because of the circumcision.
And Yahweh said to El Aharon,
Go into the wilderness to meet Moshe.
and he went, and met him in the mount of Elohim, and kissed him. And Moshe told Aharon all the words of Yahweh who had sent him, and the signs which he had commanded him. And Moshe and Aharon went and gathered together all the elders of the children of Yasharel. And Aharon spoke all the words which Yahweh had spoken unto Moshe, and did the signs in the sight of the people. And the people believed. And when they heard that Yahweh had visited the children of Yasharel, and that he had looked upon their affliction, then they bowed their heads and worshipped. Shemot, Exodus, chapter 5. And afterward, Moshe and Aharon went in and told Pharaoh,
Thus says Yahweh Elohai of Yasharel, Let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness.
And Pharaoh said,
Who is Yahuwah that I should obey his voice to let Yasharel go? I know not Yahuwah, neither will I let Yasharel go.
And they said,
The Elohai of the Ephraim has met with us. Let us go, we pray you, 3 days' journey into the desert, and sacrifice unto Yahweh Eloheinu, lest he fall upon us with pestilence, or with a sword.
And the king of Mitzrayim said unto them,
Wherefore do ye, Moshe and Aaron, let the people from their works get you unto your burdens.
And Pharaoh said,
Behold, the people of the land now are many, and ye make them rest from their burdens.
And Pharaoh commanded the same day the taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying,
Ye shall no more give the people straw to make brick, as heretofore. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. And the tell of the bricks which they did make heretofore, ye shall lay upon them, ye shall not diminish aught thereof, for they be idle. Therefore they cry, saying, Let us go and sacrifice to our Elohim. Let their more work be laid upon the men, that they may labor therein, and let them not regard vain words.
And the taskmasters of the people went out, and their officers, and they spoke to the people, saying,
Thus says Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go ye, get you straw where you can find it. Yet not aught of your work shall be diminished.
So the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Mitzrayim, to gather stubble instead of straw. And the taskmasters hasted them, saying,
Fulfill your works, your daily tasks, as when there was straw.
And the officers of the children of Yasharel, which Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten, and demanded,
Wherefore have ye not fulfilled your task in making brick both yesterday and today as heretofore?
Then the officers of the children of Yasharel came and cried unto Pharaoh, saying,
Wherefore do you thus with your servants? There is no straw given unto your servants, and they say to us, Make brick, and behold, your servants are beaten. But the fault is in your own people.
But he said,
Ye are idle, ye are idle. Therefore ye say, Let us go and do sacrifice to Yahuwah. Go therefore now and work, for there shall no straw be given you. Yet shall ye deliver the tale of bricks.
And the officers of the children of Yasharel did see that they were in an evil case. After it was said,
Ye shall not diminish out of your bricks from your daily task.
and they met Moshe and Aharon, who stood in the way, as they came forth from Pharaoh. And they said unto them,
Yahuwah, look upon you and judge, because ye have made our Saviour to be abhorred in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of his servants, to put a sword in their hand to slay us.
And Moshe returned unto Eliyahu and said,
Adonai, wherefore have you so evil entreated this people? Why is it that you have sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done evil to the people. Neither have you delivered your people at all.
Shemot, Exodus, chapter 6. Then Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Now shall you see what I will do to Pharaoh, for with a strong hand shall he let them go, and with a strong hand shall he drive them out of his land.
And Elohim spoke unto Moshe, and said unto him,
I am Yahuwah, and I appeared unto El Avraham, unto El Yitzhak, and unto El Yaakov, by El Shaddai. But by my name Yahuwah was I not known to them. And I have also established my covenant with them, to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, wherein they were strangers. And I have also heard the groanings of the children of Yasharel, whom the Mitzrayim keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Wherefore say unto the children of Yasharel, I am Yahuwah, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Mitzrayim, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm, and with great judgments. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you Elohim. And ye shall know that I am Yahuwah Elohaikim, which brings you out from under the burdens of the Mitzrayim. And I will bring you into the land concerning the which I did swear to give it to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov, and I will give it to you for a heritage. I am Yahuwah.
And Moshe spoke so unto the children of Yasharel, but they hearkened not unto Moshe, for anguish of the Ruach, and for cruel bondage. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Go in, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Mitzrayim, that he let the children of Yasharel go out of his land.
And Moshe spoke before Yahweh, saying, Behold, the children of Yasharel have not hearkened unto me. How then shall Pharaoh hear me, who am of uncircumcised lips? And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe and unto El Aharon, and gave them a charge unto the children of Yasharel and unto Pharaoh, king of Mitzrayim, to bring the children of Yasharel out of the land of Mitzrayim. These be the heads of their fathers' houses, the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Yasharel, Chanok, and Palu, and Chetzron, and Carmi. These be the families of Reuben. And the sons of Shimon, Yemuel, and Yamin, and Ochad, and Yakin, and Tzochar, and Shaul, the son of the Canaanite woman. These are the families of Shimon. And these are the names of the sons of Levi, according to their generations, Gershon, and Kohath, and Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137 years. The sons of Gershon, Livni, and Shimei, according to their families. And the sons of Kohath, Amram, and Yitzchar, and Hebron, and Uziel. And the years of the life of Kohath were 133 years. And the sons of Merari, Machli, and Mushi. These are the families of Levi, according to their generations. And Amram took Jochebed, his father's sister, to be his woman, And she bore him Ahron and Moshe, and the years of the life of Amram were 137 years. And the sons of Yitzchar, Korach, and Nepheg, and Zikri, and the sons of Uziel, Mishael, and Elishaphan, and Chitrai. And Ahron took him Elisheba, daughter of Aminadab, sister of Nachshon, to be his woman. And she bore him Nadab, and Abihu, and Eleazar, and Ithamar. And the sons of Korach, Asir, Elkanah, Avisaph. These are the families of the Korchai. And Eleazar, Ahron's son, took him one of the daughters of Putiel to be his woman, and she bore him Phinehas. These are the heads of the fathers of the Leviim according to their families. These are that Ahron and Moshe, to whom Yahweh said, Bring out the children of Yasharel from the land of Mitzrayim, according to their families. These are they which spoke to Pharaoh, king of Mitzrayim, to bring out the children of Yasharel from Mitzrayim. These are that Moshe and Ahron. And it came to pass on the day when Yahweh spoke unto Moshe in the land of Mitzrayim, that Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
I am Yahuwah. Speak you unto Pharaoh king of Mitzrayim all that I say unto you.
And Moshe said before Yahweh, Behold, I am of uncircumcised lips. How shall Pharaoh hearken unto me? Shemot, Exodus, chapter 7. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
See, I have made you an Elohim to Pharaoh, and Aharon your brother shall be your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and Aharon your brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Yasharel out of his land. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Mitzrayim. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Mitzrayim, and bring forth my armies and my people, the children of Yasharel, out of the land of Mitzrayim, by great judgments. And the Mitzrayim shall know that I am Yahuwah, when I stretch forth my hand upon the Mitzrayim, and bring out the children of Yasharel from among them.
And Moshe and Ahron did as Yahweh commanded them. So did they. And Moshe was 80 years old, and Ahron 83 years old, when they spoke unto Pharaoh. And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe and unto El Ahron, saying,
When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, Show a miracle for you, then you shall say unto El Aharon, Take your rod, and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent.
And Moshe and Ahron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as Yahweh had commanded. And Ahron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers, now the magicians of Mitzrayim. They also did in like manner with their enchantments, for they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aharon's rod swallowed up their rods, and he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuses to let the people go. Get you unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goes out unto the water. You shall stand by the river's brink, against he come. And the rod which was turned to a serpent shall you take in your hand. And you shall say unto him, Yahuwah Elohai of the Ivrim has sent me unto you, saying, Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto you would not hear. Thus says Yahuwah, In this you shall know that I am Yahuwah. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in my hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Mitzrayim shall loathe the drink of the water of the river.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Say unto Aharon, Take your rod, and stretch out your hand upon the waters of Mitzrayim, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Mitzrayim, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone.
And Moshe and Aharon did so, as Yahweh commanded. And he lifted up the rod, and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that was in the river died. And the river stank. And the Mitzrayim could not drink of the water of the river. And there was blood throughout all the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians of Mitzrayim did so with their enchantments. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, neither did he hearken unto them, as Yahweh had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he set his heart to this also. And all the Mitzrayim dug round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after that Yahweh had smitten the river. Shemot, Exodus, chapter 8. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe,
Go unto Pharaoh, say unto him, Thus says Yahweh, Let my people go, that they may serve me. And if you refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all your borders with frogs. And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into your house, and into your bedchamber, and upon your bed, and into the house of your servants, and upon your people, and into the ovens, and into your kneading troughs. And the frogs shall come up, both on you and upon your people, and upon all your servants.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe,
Say unto Aharon, Stretch forth your hand with your rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause the frogs to come up upon the land of Mitzrayim.
And Aharon stretched out his hand over the waters of Mitzrayim, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up the frogs upon the land of Mitzrayim. Then Pharaoh called for Moshe and Aharon and said,
Entreat Yahuwah that he may take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifice unto Yahuwah.
And Moshe said unto Pharaoh, Glory over me. When shall I entreat for you, and for your servants, and for your people, to destroy the frogs from you and from your houses, that they may remain in the river only? And he said,
Tomorrow.
And he said, Be it according to your word, that you may know that there is none like unto Yahweh Eloheinu. And the frogs shall depart from you, and from your houses, and from your servants, and from your people. They shall remain in the river only. And Moshe and Aharon went out from Pharaoh. And Moshe cried unto Yahweh because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moshe, and the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart, and hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Say unto Aharon, Stretch out your rod, and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Mitzrayim.
And they did so. For Aharon stretched out his hand with his rod, and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth the lice, but they could not. So there were lice upon man and upon beast. Then the magicians said unto Pharaoh,
This is the finger of Elohim.
And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Rise up early in the morning, stand before Pharaoh, lo, he comes forth to the water, and say unto him, Thus says Yahuwah, Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else if you will not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon you, and upon your servants, and upon your people, and into your houses, And the houses of the Mitzrayim shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. And I will deliver in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end you may know that I am Yahuwah in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and your people. Tomorrow shall this sign be.
And Yahweh did so, and there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Mitzrayim. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moshe and for Aharon and said,
Go ye, sacrifice to your Elohim in the land.
And Moshe said, It is not meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Mitzrayim to Yahweh Eloheinu. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Mitzrayim before their eyes? And will they not stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness, and sacrifice to Yahweh Eloheinu, as he shall command us. And Pharaoh said,
I will let you go, that ye may sacrifice to Yahuwah Elohika in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away. Entreat for me.
And Moshe said, Behold, I go out from you, and I will entreat El Yahweh, that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. But let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully any more, in not letting the people go to sacrifice to Yahweh. And Moshe went out from Pharaoh, and entreated Yahweh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moshe, and he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also, neither would he let the people go. Shemot, Exodus chapter 9. Then Yahweh said unto El Moshe,
Go in unto Pharaoh and tell him, Thus says Yahuwah Elohai of the Ephraim, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For if you refuse to let them go, and will hold them still, behold, the hand of Yahuwah is upon your cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous pestilence, and Yahuwah shall sever between the cattle of Yasharel and the cattle of Mitzrayim, and there shall nothing die of all that is the children's of Yasharel.
And Yahweh appointed a set time, saying,
Tomorrow Yahuwah shall do this thing in the land.
And Yahweh did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Mitzrayim died, but of the cattle of the children of Yasharel died not one. And Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of Yasharel dead. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. And Yahweh said unto El Moshe and unto El Aharon,
Take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moshe sprinkle it towards the heavens in the sight of Pharaoh. And it shall become small dust in all the land of Mitzrayim, and shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast throughout all the land of Mitzrayim.
And they took the ashes of the furnace, and stood before Pharaoh. And Moshe sprinkled it up toward the heavens, and it became a boil, breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast. And the magicians could not stand before Moshe because of the boils, for the boil was upon the magicians and upon all the Mitzrayim. And Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had spoken unto El Moshe. And Yahweh said unto El Moshe,
Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus says Yahuwah Elohai of the Ephraim, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For I will at this time send all my plagues upon your heart, and upon your servants, and upon your people, that you may know that there is none like me in all the earth. For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite you and your people with pestilence, and you shall be cut off from the earth. And in very deed for this cause have I raised you up, for to show in you my power, that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. As yet exalt you yourself against my people, that you will not let them go? Behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as has not been in Mitzrayim since the foundation thereof even until now. Send therefore now and gather your cattle, and all that you have in the field, for upon every man and beast which shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, the hail shall come down upon them, and they shall die.
He that feared the word of Yahweh among the servants of Pharaoh made his servants and his cattle flee into the houses. And he that regarded not the word of Yahweh left his servants and his cattle in the field. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Stretch forth your hand towards the heavens, that there may be hail in all the land of Mitzrayim, upon man and upon beast, and upon every herb of the field, throughout the land of Mitzrayim.
And Moshe stretched forth his rod toward the heavens, and Yahweh sent thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground, and Yahweh rained hail upon the land of Mitzrayim. So there was hail, and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Mitzrayim since it became a nation. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Mitzrayim, all that was in the field, both man and beast, and the hail smote every herb of the field, and broke every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Yasharel were, was there no hail. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moshe and Aharon, and said unto them,
I have sinned this time. Yahuwah is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Entreat Yahuwah, for it is enough that there be no more mighty thunderings and hail, for I will let you go. Ye shall stay no longer.
And Moshe said unto him, As soon as I am gone out of the city, I will spread abroad my hands unto Yahweh, and the thunder shall cease, neither shall there be any more hail, that you may know how that the earth is Yahweh's. But as for you and your servants, I know that you will not fear Yahweh Elohim. And the flax and the barley was smitten, for the barley was in the ear, and the flax was bold. But the wheat and the rye were not smitten, for they were not grown up. And Moshe went out of the city from Pharaoh, and spread abroad his hands unto Yahweh, and the thunders and the hail ceased, and the rain was not poured upon the earth. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders were ceased, he sinned yet more, and hardened his heart, he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, neither would he let the children of Yasharel go, as Yahweh had spoken by Moshe. Shemot, Exodus, chapter 10. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, and the heart of his servants, that I might show these my signs before him, and that you may tell in the ears of your son, and of your son's son, what things I have wrought in Mitzrayim, and my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know how that I am Yahuwah.
And Moshe and Aharon came in unto Pharaoh, and said unto him, Thus says Yahweh Elohai of the Ivrim, How long will you refuse to humble yourselves before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if you refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring the locusts into your coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth, and they shall eat the remnant of that which is escaped.
which remains unto you from the hail, and shall eat every tree which grows for you out of the field. And they shall fill your houses, and the houses of all your servants, and the houses of all the Mitzrayim, which neither your fathers nor your fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were upon the earth unto this day.
And he turned himself and went out from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's servants said unto him,
How long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the men go, that they may serve Yahweh Elohim. Know you not that Mitzrayim is destroyed?
And Moshe and Aharon were brought again unto Pharaoh. And he said unto them,
Go, serve Yahuwah Elohim. But who are they that shall go?
And Moshe said,
We will go with our young and with our old, with our sons and with our daughters, with our flocks and with our herds. We will go. For we must hold a feast unto Yahuwah.
And he said unto them,
Let Yahuwah be so with you, as I will let you go. And your little ones, look to it, for evil is before you. Not so. Go now, ye that are men, and serve Yahuwah, for that ye did desire.
And they were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Stretch out your hand over the land of Mitzrayim for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Mitzrayim, and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail has left.
And Moshe stretched forth his rod over the land of Mitzrayim. And Yahweh brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Mitzrayim, and rested in all the coast of Mitzrayim. Very grievous were they. Before them there were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened, and they did eat every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left, and there remained not any green thing in the trees, or in the herbs of the field, through all the land of Mitzrayim. Then Pharaoh called for Moshe and Aharon in haste, and he said,
I have sinned against Yahuwah Elohim, and against you. Now therefore forgive, I pray you, my sin only this once, and entreat Yahuwah Elohim, that he may take away from me this death only.
And he went out from Pharaoh and entreated Yahweh. And Yahweh turned a mighty strong west wind, which took away the locusts and cast them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the coasts of Mitzrayim. But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Yasharel go. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Stretch out your hand towards the heavens, that there may be darkness over the land of Mitzrayim, even darkness which may be felt.
And Moshe stretched forth his hand toward the heavens, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Mitzrayim 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Yasharel had light in their dwellings. And Pharaoh called unto Moshe and said,
Go ye, serve Yahuwah, only let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little ones also go with you.
And Moshe said,
You must give us also sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice unto Yahweh Eloheinu. Our cattle also shall go with us. There shall not a hoof be left behind. For thereof must we take to serve Yahweh Eloheinu. And we know not with what we must serve Yahweh until we come thither.
But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. And Pharaoh said unto him,
Get you from me. Take heed to yourself. See my face no more. For in that day you see my face, you shall die.
And Moshe said, "You have spoken well. I will see your face again no more." Shemot, Exodus chapter 11. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh, and upon Mitzrayim. Afterwards he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold.
And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Mitzrayim. Moreover, the man Moshe was very great in the land of Mitzrayim, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants and in the sight of the people. And Moshe said, "Thus says Yahweh, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Mitzrayim, and all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sits upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Mitzrayim, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Yasharel shall not a dog move his tongue, against man or beast, that ye may know how that Yahweh puts a difference between the Mitzrayim and Yasharel. And all these your servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get you out, and all the people that follow you. And after that, I will go out." And he went out from Pharaoh in great anger. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Mitzrayim.
And Moshe and Aharon did all these wonders before Pharaoh. And Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Yasharel go out of his land. Shemot, Exodus chapter 12. And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe and El Aharon in the land of Mitzrayim, saying,
This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the assembly of Yasharel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole multitude of the assembly of Yasharel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood, and strike it on the two sides of the posts, and on the upper doorposts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and matzah, unleavened bread. And with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the purtenance thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remains of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And ye shall eat it in haste. It is Yahuwah's Pesach. For I will pass through the land of Mitzrayim this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both man and beast. And against all the Elohai of Mitzrayim I will execute judgment. I am Yahuwah. And the blood shall be to you for a mark upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Mitzrayim. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to Yahuwah throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall ye eat matzah. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whoever eats hametz, leavened bread, from the first day unto the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Yasharel. And in the first day there shall be a holy assembly, and in the 7th day there shall be a holy assembly to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. And ye shall guard the feast of matzah, unleavened bread. For in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Mitzrayim. Therefore shall ye guard this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. In the 1st day, on the 14th day of the month at evening, ye shall eat matzah, until the 21st day of the month at evening. 7 days shall there be no hametz found in your houses, for whosoever eats that which is with hametz, leaven, even that soul shall be cut off from the assembly of Yasharel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. Ye shall eat nothing with hametz. In all your habitations shall ye eat matzah.
Then Moshe called for all the elders of Yasharel, and said unto them, Draw out, and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Pesach. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin, and none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. For Yahweh will pass through to smite the Mitzrayim. And when he sees the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, Yahweh will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. And ye shall guard this thing for an ordinance to you and to your sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when ye are come to the land which Yahweh will give you, according as he has promised, that ye shall guard this service. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, What mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, It is the sacrifice of Yahweh's Pesach, who passed over the houses of the children of Yasharel in Mitzrayim, when he smote the Mitzrayim and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. And the children of Yasharel went away, and did as Yahweh had commanded Moshe and Aharon, so did they. And it came to pass that at midnight Yahweh smote all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Mitzrayim, and there was a great cry in Mitzrayim, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moshe and Aharon by night, and said,
Rise up, and get ye forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Yasharel, and go, serve Yahweh, as ye have said, and take your flocks and your herds, as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also.
And the Mitzrayim were urgent upon the people, that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, We be all dead men. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, and their kneading troughs, being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Yasharel did according to the word of Moshe. And they borrowed of the Mitzrayim jewels of silver, and jewels of gold, and raiment. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Mitzrayim, so that they lent unto them such things as they required. And they spoiled the Mitzrayim. And the children of Yasharel journeyed from Ramesses to Sukkot, about 600,000 on foot that were men, beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with him, and flocks, and herds, even very much cattle. And they baked matzah cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Mitzrayim, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Mitzrayim, and could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victual. Now the sojourning of the children of Yasharel, who dwelt in the land of Mitzrayim, and in the land of Canaan, they and their fathers, was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day it came to pass, that all the hosts of Yahweh went out from the land of Mitzrayim. It is a night to be much observed unto Yahweh, for bringing them out of the land of Mitzrayim. This is that night of Yahweh, to be observed of all the children of Yasharel in their generations. And Yahweh said unto Moshe and Aharon,
This is the ordinance of the Pesach. There shall no stranger eat thereof, but every manservant that is bought for money, when you have circumcised him, then he shall eat thereof. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall it be eaten. You shall not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall ye break a bone thereof. All the assembly of Yasharel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with you, and will keep the Pesach to Yahuwah, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land. For no one uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. 1 Torah shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourns among you.
Thus did all the children of Yasharel, as Yahweh commanded Moshe and Aharon, so did they. And it came to pass at the selfsame day that Yahweh did bring the children of Yasharel out of the land of Mitzrayim by their armies. Shemot, Exodus chapter 13. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever opens the womb among the children of Yasharel, both of man and of beast, it is mine.
And Moshe said unto the people, Remember this day, in which you came out from Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage, for by strength of hand Yahweh brought you out from this place. There shall no chametz be eaten. This day came ye out in the month Abib. And it shall be when Yahweh shall bring you into the land of the Canaanim, and the Chittim, and the Amorim, and the Chivim, and the Yebusim, which he swore unto your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you shall eat matzah, and in the 7th day shall be a feast unto Yahweh. Matzah shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall no chametz be seen with you, neither shall there be leaven seen with you in all your quarters. And you shall show your son in that day, saying, This is done because of that which Yahweh did unto me when I came forth out of Mitzrayim. And it shall be for a sign unto you upon your hand, and for a memorial between your eyes, that Yahweh's Torah may be in your mouth. For with a strong hand has Yahweh brought you out of Mitzrayim. You shall therefore guard this ordinance in his appointed time from year to year. And it shall be, when Yahweh shall bring you into the land of the Canaanim, as he swore unto you and to your fathers, and shall give it you, that you shall set apart unto Yahweh all that open the womb, and every firstling that comes of a beast which you have. The males shall be Yahweh's. And every firstling of an ass you shall redeem with a lamb, and if you will not redeem it, then you shall break his neck. And all the firstborn of man among your children shall you redeem. And it shall be when your son asks you in time to come, saying, What is this? That you shall say unto him, By strength of hand Yahweh brought us out from Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage. And it came to pass when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that Yahweh slew all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both of the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice to Yahweh all that opens the womb, being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem. And it shall be for a mark upon your hand, and for frontlets between your eyes. For by strength of hand Yahweh brought us forth out of Mitzrayim. Pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, the Elohim led them not through the way of the land of the Palestine, though that was near. For Elohim said,
Lest perchance the people repent when they see war, and they return to Mitzrayim.
But Elohim led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Yasharel went up harnessed out of the land of Mitzrayim. And Moshe took the bones of Yosef with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Yasharel, saying,
Elohim will surely visit you, and you will carry up my bones away hence with you.
They took their journey from Sukkot and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness. And Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of cloud, to lead them in the way, and by night in a pillar of fire, to give them light, to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night, from before the people. Shemot, Exodus chapter 14. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, that they turn and encamp before Pi Hachiron, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal Zephon. Before it shall ye encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Yasharel, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness has shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh, and upon all his host, that the Mitzrayim may know that I am Yahuwah.
And they did so. And it was told the king of Mitzrayim that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and his servants was turned against the people, and they said,
Why have we done this, that we have let Yasharel go from serving us?
And he made ready his chariot, and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Mitzrayim, and captains over every one of them. And Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Mitzrayim, and he pursued after the children of Yasharel. And the children of Yasharel went out with a high hand. But the Mitzrayim pursued after them, all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, and his horsemen, and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea, beside Pi Hachiroth, before Baal Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Yasharel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Mitzrayim marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Yasharel cried out unto Yahweh. And they said unto Moshe,
Because there were no graves in Mitzrayim, have ye taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore have you dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Mitzrayim? Is not this the word that we did tell you in Mitzrayim, saying, Let us alone, that we may serve the Mitzrayim? For it had been better for us to serve the Mitzrayim, than that we should die in the wilderness.
And Moshe said unto the people, Fear ye not, stand still, and see the Yeshua of Yahweh, which he will show you today. For the Mitzrayim who ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. Yahweh shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Wherefore cry you unto me? Speak unto the children of Yasharel, that they go forward. But lift up your rod, and stretch out your hand over the sea, and divide it. And the children of Yasharel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Mitzrayim, and they shall follow them, and I will get me honor upon Pharaoh, and upon all his host, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the Mitzrayim shall know that I am Yahuwah, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen.
And the angel of Elohim, which went before the camp of Yasharel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Mitzrayim and the camp of Yasharel. And it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all night. And Moshe stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Yasharel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Mitzrayim pursued, and went in after them into the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watch, Yahweh looked unto the host of the Mitzrayim through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Mitzrayim, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drove them heavily, so that the Mitzrayim said, Let us flee from the face of Yasharel, for Yahweh fights for them against the Mitzrayim. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Stretch out your hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Mitzrayim, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen.
And Moshe stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Mitzrayim fled against it. And Yahweh overthrew the Mitzrayim in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned, and covered the chariots, and the horsemen, and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. But the children of Yashrael walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. Thus Yahweh saved Yashrael that day out of the hand of the Mitzrayim. And Yashrael saw the Mitzrayim dead upon the seashore. And Yashrael saw that great work which Yahweh did upon the Mitzrayim. And the people feared Yahweh, and believed Yahweh and his servant Moshe. Shemot, Exodus, chapter 15. Then sang Moshe and the children of Yashrael this song unto Yahweh, saying, I will sing unto Yahweh, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and the rider has he thrown into the sea. Yah is my strength and song, and he has become my Yeshua. He is my El, and I will prepare him a habitation. My father's Elohai, and I will exalt him. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his host has he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone. Your right hand, O Yahweh, is become glorious in power. Your right hand, O Yahweh, has dashed in pieces the enemy. And in the greatness of your excellency, you have overthrown them that rose up against you. You sent forth your wrath, which consumed them as stubble. And with the blast of your nostrils, the waters were gathered together. The flood stood upright as a heap, and the depths were congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. You blew with your ruach, the sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. Who is like unto you, O Yahweh, among the Elohim? Who is like you, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. You and your mercy have led forth the people which you have redeemed. You have guided them in your strength unto your holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Pelesheth. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed, the mighty men of Moab, trembling shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. Fear and dread shall fall upon them by the greatness of your arm. They shall be as still as a stone till your people pass over, O Yahweh, till the people pass over which you have purchased. You shall bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, in the place, O Yahweh, which you have made for you to dwell in the sanctuary, O Adonai, which your hands have established. Yahweh shall reign forever and ever. For the horse of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and Yahweh brought again the waters of the sea upon them. But the children of Yashrael went on dry land in the midst of the sea. And Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aharon, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and dances. And Miriam answered them,
Sing ye to Yahweh, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider has he thrown into the sea.
So Moshe brought Yashrael from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore, the name of it was called Marah. And the people murmured against Moshe, saying, What shall we drink? And he cried unto El Yahweh. And Yahweh showed him a tree, which, when he had cast into the waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statute and an ordinance, and there he proved them, and said, "If you will diligently hearken to the voice of Yahweh Elohim, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and guard all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon you, which I have brought upon the Mitzrayim, for I am Yahweh Ropheka." And they came to Elim, where there were 12 wells of water, and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the waters. Shemot, Exodus, chapter 16. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the assembly of the children of Yashrael came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing out of the land of Mitzrayim. And the whole assembly of the children of Yashrael murmured against Moshe and Aharon in the wilderness. And the children of Yashrael said unto them,
Would to Elohim we had died by the hand of Yahuwah in the land of Mitzrayim, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger.
Then said Yahweh unto Moshe,
Behold, I will rain bread from heavens for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them, whether they will walk in my Torah or no. And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily.
And Moshe and Aharon said unto all the children of Yashrael,
At evening, then ye shall know what Yahuwah has brought out of the land of Mitzrayim.
And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of Yahweh, for that he hears your murmurings against Yahweh.
And what are we, that ye murmur against us?
And Moshe said, This shall be, when Yahweh shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that Yahweh hears your murmurings which you murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against Yahweh. And Moshe spoke unto Aharon, Say unto all the assembly of the children of Yashrael, Come near before Yahweh, for he has heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, as Aharon spoke unto the whole assembly of the children of Yashrael, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of Yahweh appeared in the cloud. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
I have heard the murmurings of the children of Yasharel. Speak unto them, saying, At evening ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am Yahuwah Elohim.
And it came to pass that at evening the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Yashrael saw it, they said one to another, It is manna, for they knew not what it was. And Moshe said unto them, This is the bread which Yahweh has given you to eat. This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man, according to the number of your persons. Take you every man for them which are in his tents. And the children of Yashrael did so, and gathered some more, some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And Moshe said, Let no man leave of it till the morning. Notwithstanding they hearkened not unto Moshe. But some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moshe was wroth with them. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the assembly came and told Moshe. And he said unto them, This is that which Yahweh has said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Shabbat unto Yahweh. Bake that which you will bake today, and seethe that you will seethe, and that which remains over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. And they laid it up till the morning as Moshe bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. And Moshe said,
Eat that today, for today is a Shabbat unto Yahweh. Today you shall not find it in the field. 6 days shall ye gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Shabbat, in it there shall be none.
And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
How long refuse ye to guard my commandments and my Torah? See for that Yahuwah has given you the Sabbath. Therefore, he gives you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day.
So the people rested on the 7th day. And the house of Yashrael called the name thereof manna. And it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. And Moshe said,
This is the thing which Yahweh commands. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Mitzrayim.
And Moshe said unto Aaron,
Take a pot, and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before Yahweh, to be kept for your generations.
As Yahweh commanded Moshe, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Yashrael did eat manna 40 years, until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Now, an omer is a 10th part of an ephah. Shemot, Exodus, chapter 17. And all the assembly of the children of Yashrael journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys according to the commandment of Yahweh, and pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide with Moshe, and said,
Give us water, that we may drink.
And Moshe said unto them,
Why chide ye with me? Wherefore do you tempt Yahweh?
And the people thirsted there for water. And the people murmured against Moshe and said,
Wherefore is it that you have brought us up out of Mitzrayim, to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst?
And Moshe cried unto Yahweh, saying,
What shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Go on before the people, and take with you the elders of Yasharel, and your rod, wherewith you smote the river, take in your hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before you there upon the rock in Horeb, and you shall smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that people may drink.
And Moshe did so in the sight of the elders of Yashrael. And he called the name of the place Massa and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Yashrael, and because they tempted Yahweh, saying,
Is Yahweh among us or not?
Then came Amalek and fought with Yashrael and Rephidim. And Moshe said unto Yahusha,
Choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of Elohim in my hand.
So Yahusha did as Moshe had said to him, and fought with Amalek. And Moshe and Aharon and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moshe held up his hand that Yashrael prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moshe's hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aharon and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side, and the other on the other side. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Yahusha discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Write this for a memorial in a Cepher, and rehearse it in the ears of Yahusha, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under the heavens.
And Moshe built an altar, and called the name of it Yahweh Nisai. For he said, Because Yah has sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Shemot, Exodus, chapter 18. When Yitro, the priest of Midian, Moshe's father-in-law, heard all that Elohim had done for Moshe, and for Yasharel his people, and that Yahweh had brought Yasharel out of Mitzrayim, then Yitro, Moshe's father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moshe's woman, after he had sent her back. and her 2 sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. And the name of the other was Eleazar, for the Elohai of my father, said he, was my help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Yitro, Moshe's father-in-law, came with his sons and woman unto Moshe in the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of Elohim. And he said unto Moshe,
I, your father-in-law Yithro, am come unto you, and your woman, and her 2 sons with her.
And Moshe went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him, and they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. And Moshe told his father-in-law all that Yahweh had done unto Pharaoh, and unto the Mitzrayim for Yasharel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how Yahweh delivered them. And Yitro rejoiced for all the goodness which Yahweh had done unto Yasharel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Mitzrayim. And Yitro said,
Blessed be Yahweh, who has delivered you out of the hand of the Mitzrayim, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who has delivered the people from under the hand of the Mitzrayim. Now I know that Yahweh is greater than all Elohim, for in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them.
And Yitro, Moshe's father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for Elohim. Nahron came, and all the elders of Yasharel, to eat bread with Moshe's father-in-law before Elohim. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moshe sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moshe from the morning unto the evening. And when Moshe's father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said,
What is this that you do to the people? Why sit you yourself alone, and all the people stand by you from morning unto evening?
And Moshe said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me to inquire of Elohim. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another. And I do make them know the statutes of Elohim and his Torah. And Moshe's father-in-law said unto him,
The thing you do is not good. You will surely wear away, both you and this people that is with you, for this thing is too heavy for you. You are not able to perform it yourself alone. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give you counsel, and Elohim shall be with you. Be for the people to Elohimward, that you may bring the causes unto Elohim, and you shall teach them ordinances and Torah, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, you shall provide out of all the people able men, such as fear Elohim, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. And let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto you, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for you, and they shall bear the burden with you. If you shall do this thing, and Elohim command you so, then you shall be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace.
So Moshe hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. And Moshe chose able men out of all Yasharel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moshe, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moshe let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. Shemot, Exodus, chapter 19. In the 3rd month, when the children of Yasharel were gone forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from Rephidim, and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness. And there Yasharel camped before the mount. And Moshe went up unto Elohim, and Yahweh called unto him out of the mountain, saying,
Thus shall you say to the house of Yaakov, and tell the children of Yasharel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Mitzrayim, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, If ye will obey my voice indeed, and guard my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak unto the children of Yasharel.
And Moshe came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all these words which Yahweh commanded him. And all the people answered together and said,
All that Yahweh has spoken, we will do.
And Moshe returned the words of the people unto Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Lo, I come unto you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and believe you forever.
And Moshe told the words of the people unto Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Go unto the people, and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. For the third day Yahuwah will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And you shall set bounds unto the people round about, saying, Take heed to yourselves, that ye go not up unto the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not a hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the shofar sounds long, they shall come up to the mount.
And Moshe went down from the mount unto the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people,
Be ready against the third day. Come not at your women.
And it came to pass on the third day in the morning, that there were thunders and lightnings, and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the shofar exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moshe brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with Elohim, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because Yahweh descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the shofar sounded long, and waxed louder and louder, Moshe spoke, and Elohim answered him by a voice. And Yahweh came down upon Mount Sinai, on the top of the mount. And Yahweh called Moshe up to the top of the mount, and Moshe went up. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto Yahuwah, to gaze, and many of them perish. And let the priests also, which come near to Yahuwah, sanctify themselves, lest Yahuwah break forth upon them.
And Moshe said unto Yahweh,
The people cannot come up unto Mount Sinai, for you charged us, saying, Set bounds about the mount and sanctify it.
And Yahweh said unto him,
Away, get you down, and you shall come up you and Aaron with you. But let not the priests and the people break through to come up unto Yahuwah, lest he break forth upon them.
So Moshe went down unto the people, and spoke unto them. Shemot, Exodus, chapter 20. And Elohim spoke all these words, saying,
I am Yahuwah Elohika, which have brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other Elohim before me. You shall not make any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow yourself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah Elohika, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and guard my commandments. You shall not take the name of Yahuwah Elohika in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain. Remember the day of the Sabbath, to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah Elohika. In it you shall not do any work, you nor your son, nor your daughter, your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger that is within your gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the day of the Sabbath, and hallowed it. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which Yahuwah Elohika gives you. You shall not kill. You shall not break wedlock. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not lust after your neighbor's house. You shall not lust after your neighbor's woman, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is your neighbor's.
And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the shofar and the mountains smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moshe,
Speak with us, and we will hear, but let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die.
And Moshe said unto the people,
Fear not, for Elohim has come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that you sin not.
And the people stood afar off, and Moshe drew near unto the thick darkness where Elohim was. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Thus you shall say unto the children of Yasharel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me Elohai of silver, neither shall ye make unto you Elohai of gold. An altar of earth you shall make unto me, and shall sacrifice thereon your burnt offerings, and your peace offerings, your sheep and your oxen. In all places where I record my name, I will come unto you, and I will bless you. And if you will make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it of hewn stone. For if you lift up your tool upon it, you have polluted it. Neither shall you go up by steps unto my altar, that your nakedness be not discovered thereon.
Shemot, Exodus chapter 21.
Now these are the judgments which you shall set before them. If you obtain an Ivri servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his woman shall go out with him. If his master have given him a woman, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the woman and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my woman, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall pierce his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. And if a man surrenders his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the menservants do. If she please not her master, who has betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To surrender her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he has dealt deceitfully with her. If he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. If he take him another woman, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And if he do not these 3 unto her, then shall she go out free without money. He that smites a man so that he die shall be surely put to death. And if a man lie not in wait, but Elohim deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint you a place whither he shall flee. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, you shall take him from my altar, that he may die. And he that smites his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. And he that steals a man and sells him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. And he that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. And if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone, or with his fist, and he die not, but keeps his bed, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be innocent. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. And if a man smite his servant, or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall surely be punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. If men strive and hurt a woman with a child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall surely be punished, according as the woman's man will lay upon him. He shall pay as the judges determine. And if any mischief follow, then you shall give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. And if a man smite the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. If he smite out his manservant's tooth, or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. If an ox gore a man or a woman, that they die, then the ox shall be surely stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be innocent. But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in the time past, and it has been testified to his owner, and he has not kept him in, but that he has killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him. Whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to this judgment shall it be done unto him. If the ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit, and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good, and give up money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. And if the ox of one man hurts the ox of another, that he die, then they shall sell the live ox, and divide the money of it, and the dead ox also they shall divide. Or if it be known that the ox has used to push in time past, and his owner has not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own.
Shemot, Exodus, chapter 22.
If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it, or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox, and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief be found breaking up, and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field, of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard, shall he make restitution. If fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of grain, or the standing grain, or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to guard, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges, to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. For all manner of transgression, whether it be for ox, for ass, for sheep, for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing, which another challenged to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. If a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass, or an ox, or a sheep, or any beast to guard, and it die, or be hurt, or driven away, no man seeing it, then shall an oath of Yahuwah be between them both, that he has not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. And if it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn. And if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good. But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. If it be a hired thing, it came for his hire. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his woman. And if a father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. You shall not suffer a witch to live. Whosoever lies with a beast shall surely be put to death. He that sacrifices unto Elohim save unto Yahweh only. He shall be utterly destroyed. You shall neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Mizraim. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If you afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry. And my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your women shall be widows, and your children fatherless. If you lend money to any of my people that is poor by you, you shall not be to him as a usurer, neither shall you lay upon him usury. If you at all take your neighbor's raiment to pledge, you shall deliver it unto him by the time that the sun goes down. For that is his covering only, it is his raiment for his skin, wherein shall he sleep. And it shall come to pass, when he cries unto me, that I will hear, for I am gracious. You shall not revile the Elohim, nor curse the ruler of your people. You shall not delay to offer the first of your ripe fruit, and of your liquors, the firstborn of your sons shall you give unto me. Likewise shall you do with your oxen and with your sheep. 7 days it shall be with this dam. On the 8th day you shall give it to me. And ye shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beast in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs.
Shemot, Exodus, chapter 23.
You shall not raise a false report. Put not your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. You shall not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shall you speak in a cause, to decline after many, to pervert judgment. Neither shall you countenance a poor man in his cause. If you meet your enemy's ox or his ass going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him again. If you see the ass of him that hates you lying under his burden, and would forbear to help him, you shall surely help with him. You shall not pervert the judgment of your poor in his cause. Keep far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay you not, for I will not justify the wicked. And you shall take no gift, for the gift blinds the wise and perverts the words of the righteous. Also you shall not oppress a stranger, for ye know the heart of a stranger, seeing ye were strangers in the land of Mizraim. And 6 years you shall sow your land, and shall gather in the fruits thereof. But the 7th year you shall let it rest and lie still, that the poor of your people may eat. What they leave the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner you shall deal with your vineyard and with your olive yard. 6 days you shall do your work, and on the 7th day you shall rest, that your ox and your ass may rest, and the sons of your handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed. And in all things that I have said unto you, be guarded, and make no mention of the name of other Elohim, neither let it be heard out of your mouth. 3 times you shall keep a feast unto me in the year. You shall guard the feast of matzah, unleavened bread. You shall eat matzah 7 days as I command you, in the time appointed of the month of Eve, for in it you came out from Mizraim, and none shall appear before me empty. And the feast of Katsir, harvest, the first fruits of your labors, which you have sown in the field, and the feast of Asif, in gathering, which is in the end of the year, when you have gathered your labors out of the field. 3 times in the year all your males shall appear before Adonai Yahuwah. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with hametz, leavened bread. Neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning. The first of the firstfruits of your land you shall bring into the house of Yahuwah Elohika. You shall not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. Behold, I send an angel before you, to guard you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. And if you shall indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto your enemies, and an adversary unto your adversaries. For my angel shall go before you, and bring you in unto the Emorym, and the Hittim, and the Perizim, and the Kenainim, and the Hivim, and the Yevusim, and I will cut them off. You shall not bow down to their Elohim, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but you shall utterly overthrow them, and quite break down their images. And ye shall serve Yahuwah Elohim, and he shall bless your bread and your water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of you. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in your land, and the number of your days I will fulfill. I will send my fear before you, and will destroy all the people to whom you shall come, and I will make all your enemies turn their backs unto you. And I will send hornets before you, which shall drive out the Hivi, and the Kinaini, and the Hittite from before you. And I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against you. By little and little I will drive them out before you, until you be increased, and inherit the land. And I will set your bonds from the Red Sea, even unto the sea of the Pelishtim, and from the desert unto the river, for I will deliver the inhabitants of the land unto your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. You shall cut no covenant with them, nor with their Elohim. They shall not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me. For if you serve their Elohim, it will surely be a snare unto you.
Shemot, Exodus, chapter 24. And he said unto Moshe,
Come up unto Eliyahu, you and Aaron, Nadav and Avihu, and 70 of the elders of Yasharel, and worship ye afar off. And Moshe alone shall come near Eliyahu, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him.
And Moshe came and told the people all the words of Yahweh, and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, All the words which Yahweh said, we will do. And Moshe wrote all the words of Yahweh, and rose up early in the morning, and built an altar unto the hill, and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Yasharel. And he sent young men of the children of Yasharel, which offered burnt offerings, and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. And Moshe took half of the blood, and put it in the basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the Cepher of the covenant, and read it in the audience of the people. And they said, All that Yahweh has said, we will do, and be obedient. And Moshe took the blood, and sprinkled it on the people, and said, Behold, the blood of the covenant, which Yahweh has cut with you, concerning all these words. Then went up Moshe, and Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Yasharel. And they saw the Elohai of Yasharel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in its clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Yasharel he laid not his hand. Also they saw Elohim, and did eat and drink. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Come up to me into the mount, and be there, and I will give you sapphire stones, and a Torah, and commandments which I have written, that you may teach them.
And Moshe rose up, and his minister Yahusha, and Moshe went up into the mount of Elohim. And he said unto the elders, Tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Horai are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moshe went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount. And the glory of Yahweh abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And the 7th day he called unto Moshe out of the midst of the cloud. And the sight of the glory of Yahweh was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Yasharel. And Moshe went into the midst of the cloud, and got him up into the mount. And Moshe was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights.
Shemot, Exodus chapter 25. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, that they bring me an offering. Of every man that gives it willingly with his heart, ye shall take my offering. And this is the offering which ye shall take of them: gold, and silver, and brass, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram skin dyed red, and badger skin, and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod, in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them.
according to all that I show you, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And you shall overlay it with pure gold, within and without shall you overlay it, and shall make upon it a crown of gold round about. And you shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the corners thereof, and 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings on the other side of it. And you shall make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And you shall put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. And you shall put into the ark the testimony which I give you. And you shall make a mercy seat of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold, of beaten work shall you make them, in the 2 ends of the mercy seat. And make 1 cherub on one end, and the other cherub on the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubim on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubim shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces shall look one to another. Towards the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubim be. And you shall put the mercy seat above upon the ark, and in the ark you shall put the testimony that I shall give you. And there I will meet with you, and I will commune with you from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim, which are upon the ark of the testimony, of all things which I give you in commandment unto the children of Yasharel. You shall also make a table of shittim wood, 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And you shall overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a crown of gold round about. And you shall make unto it a border of a handbreadth round about, and you shall make a golden crown to the border thereof round about. And you shall make it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings in the 4 corners that are on the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border shall the rings be for places of the staves to bear the table. And you shall make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne with them. And you shall make dishes thereof, and spoons thereof, and covers thereof, and bowls thereof. To cover withal of pure gold shall you make them. And you shall set upon the table showbread before me always. And you shall make a menorah, 7-branched candlestick of pure gold. Of beaten work shall the menorah be made. His shaft and his branches, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers shall be of the same. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, 3 branches of the menorah out of the one side, and 3 branches of the menorah out of the other side. 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knop and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch, with a knop and a flower, so in the 6 branches that come out of the menorah. And in the menorah shall be 4 bowls made like unto almonds, with their knops and their flowers. And there shall be a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceed out of the menorah. Their knops and their branches shall be of the same. All of it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. And you shall make the 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamps thereof, that they may give light over against it. And the tongs thereof, and the snuff dishes thereof, shall be of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold shall he make it, with all these vessels. And look that you make them after the pattern, which was showed you in the mount.
Shemot, Exodus chapter 26.
Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue and purple, and scarlet, with cherubim of cunning work shall you make them. The length of 1 curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the breadth of 1 curtain 4 cubits. Every one of the curtains shall have 1 measure. The 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another, and other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. And you shall make loops of blue upon the edge of the one curtain from the selvage in the coupling, and likewise shall you make in the uttermost edge of another curtain in the coupling of the second. 50 loops shall you make in the one curtain, and 50 loops shall you make in the edge of the curtain that is the coupling of the second, and the loops may take hold one of another. And you shall make 50 taches of gold, and couple the curtains together with the taches, and it shall be one tabernacle. And you shall make curtains of goat hair to be a covering upon the tabernacle. 11 curtains shall you make. The length of one curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and the 11 curtains shall be all of one measure. And you shall couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves, and shall double the 6th curtain in the forefront of the tabernacle. And you shall make 50 loops on the edge of the one curtain that is utmost in the coupling, and 50 loops in the edge of the curtain which couples the second. And you shall make 50 taches of brass, and put the taches into the loops, and couple the tent together, that it may be one. And the remnant that remains of the curtain of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the backside of the tabernacle, and a cubit on the one side, and a cubit on the other side, of that which remains in the length of the curtains of the tent. It shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle, on this side and on that side, to cover it. And you shall make a covering for the tent of ram skin dyed red, and a covering above of badger's skin. And you shall make the boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood, standing up. 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth of one board. 2 tenons shall be in one board, set in order one against another. Thus shall you make for all the boards of the tabernacle. You shall make the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards on the south side southward. And you shall make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle on the north side there shall be 20 boards, and their 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward you shall make 6 boards, and 2 boards shall you make for the corners of the tabernacle in the 2 sides. And they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto one ring. Thus shall it be for them both. They shall be for the 2 corners. And they shall be 8 boards, and their sockets of silver 16 sockets, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And you shall make bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle for the 2 sides westward. And the middle bar in the middle of the boards shall reach from end to end. And you shall overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold for places for the bars. And you shall overlay the bars with gold. And you shall rear up the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof, which was showed you in the mount. And you shall make a veil of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen of cunning work, with cherubim shall it be made. And you shall hang it upon the 4 pillars of shittim wood, overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold, upon the 4 sockets of silver. And you shall hang up the veil under the taches, that you may bring in hither within the veil the ark of the testimony. And the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy. And you shall put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. And you shall set the table without the veil, and the menorah, 7-branched candlestick, over against the table on the side of the tabernacle towards the south. And you shall put the table on the north side. And you shall make a hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework. And you shall make for the hanging 5 pillars of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, and their hooks shall be of gold. and you shall cast 5 sockets of brass for them.
Shemot, Exodus chapter 27.
And you shall make an altar of shittim wood, 5 cubits long, and 5 cubits broad, and the altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits. And you shall make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and you shall overlay it with brass. And you shall make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his flesh hooks, and his fire pans. All the vessels thereof you shall make of brass, and you shall make it for a grate of network of brass, and upon the net shall you make 4 brazen rings in the 4 corners thereof. And you shall put it under the compass of the altar beneath, that the net may be even to the midst of the altar. And you shall make staves for the altar, staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with brass. And the staves shall be put into the rings, and the staves shall be upon the 2 sides of the altar, to bear it. Hollow with boards shall you make it, as it was showed you in the mount, so shall they make it. And you shall make the court of the tabernacle, for the south side southward. There shall be hangings for the court of fine twined linen, of 100 cubits long for one side. And the 20 pillars thereof and their 20 sockets shall be of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for the north side in length there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long, and his 20 pillars and their 20 sockets of brass, the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. And the breadth of the court on the east side eastward shall be 50 cubits. The hangings of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And on the other side shall be hangings 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the gate of the court shall be hangings of 20 cubits, of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework. And their pillars shall be 4, and their sockets 4. All the pillars round about the court shall be filleted with silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 everywhere. And the height of 5 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle in the service thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass. And you shall command the children of Yasharel that they bring you pure olive oil, beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. In the tabernacle of the assembly, without the veil, which is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall order it from evening to morning before Yahuwah. It shall be a statute forever unto their generations on the behalf of the children of Yasharel.
Shemot, Exodus chapter 28.
And take unto you Aaron your brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Yasharel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadav, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Itamar, Aaron's sons. And you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for glory and for beauty. And you shall speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the Ruach Hakmah, spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, an ephod, and a robe, and a broidered coat, a turban, and a belt. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And they shall take gold, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine linen, and they shall make an ephod of gold, of blue, of purple, of scarlet, and fine twined linen, with cunning work. It shall have the 2 shoulder pieces thereof joined at the 2 edges thereof, and so it shall be joined together. And the belt of the ephod, which is upon it, shall be of the same, according to the work thereof, even of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And you shall take the 2 onyx stones, and grave on them the names of the children of Yasharel, 6 of their names on one stone, and the other 6 names of the rest on the other stone, according to their birth. with the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet, shall you engrave the 2 stones with the names of the children of Yasharel. You shall make them to be set in ouches of gold. And you shall put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for stones of memorial unto the children of Yasharel. And Aaron shall bear their names before Yahuwah upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. And you shall make ouches of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold at the ends of wreathen work shall you make them, and fasten the wreathen chains to the ouches. And you shall make the breastplate of judgment with cunning work. After the work of the ephod you shall make it, of gold, of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine twined linen shall you make it. 4 square it shall be, being doubled. A span shall be the length thereof, and a span shall be the breadth thereof. And you shall set in it settings of stone, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be sardius, a topaz, a carbuncle. This shall be the first row. And the second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. And the 4th row a beryl, and an onyx, and a jasper. They shall be set in gold in their enclosings. And the stones shall be with the names of the children of Yasharel, 12, according to their names, like the engravings of a signet. Every one with his name shall they be according to the 12 tribes. And you shall make upon the breastplate chains at the end of wreathen work of pure gold. And you shall make upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and shall put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And you shall put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings which are on the ends of the breastplate. And the other 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains you shall fasten in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And you shall make 2 rings of gold, and you shall put them upon the 2 ends of the breastplate, and the order thereof, which is in the side of the ephod inward. And 2 other rings of gold you shall make, and shall put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, towards the forepart thereof, over against the other coupling thereof, above the belt of the ephod. And they shall bind the breastplate by the rings thereof unto the rings of the ephod, with a lace of blue, that it may be above the belt of the ephod, and that the breastplate be not loosed from the ephod. And Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Yasharel in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart, when he goes in unto the holy place, for a memorial before Yahuwah continually. And you shall put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart, when he goes in before Yahuwah. And Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Yasharel upon his heart before Yahuwah continually. And you shall make the robe of the ephod all of blue, and there shall be a hole in the top of it. In the midst thereof it shall have a binding of woven work round about the whole of it, as it were the hole of a habergeon, that it be not rent. And beneath upon the hem of it you shall make pomegranates of blue, of purple, and of scarlet, round about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between them round about, a golden bell and a pomegranate, a golden bell and a pomegranate, upon the hem of the robe round about. And it shall be upon Aaron to minister, and his sound shall be heard when he goes in unto the holy place before Yahuwah, and when he comes out, that he die not. And you shall make a plate of pure gold, grave upon it, like the engravings of a signet, Kodesh el Yahuwah, holiness unto Yahuwah. And you shall put it on a blue lace, that it may be upon the turban. Upon the forefront of the turban it shall be, and it shall be upon Aaron's forehead, that Aaron may bear the iniquity of the holy things, which the children of Yasharel shall hallow in all their holy gifts, and it shall be upon his forehead, that they may be accepted before Yahuwah. And you shall embroider the coat of fine linen, and you shall make the turban of fine linen, and you shall make the belt of needlework. And for Aaron's sons you shall make coats, and you shall make for them belts, and bonnets shall you make for them, for glory and for beauty. And you shall put them upon Aaron your brother, and his sons with him, and shall anoint them, and consecrate them, and sanctify them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And you shall make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness, from the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach. And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons, when they come in unto the tabernacle of the assembly, or when they come near unto the altar to minister in the holy place, that they bear not iniquity and die. It shall be a statute forever unto him and his seed after him.
Shemot, Exodus chapter 29.
And this is the thing that you shall do unto them, to hallow them, to minister unto me in the priest's office. Take 1 young bullock, and 2 rams without blemish, and matzah cakes tempered with oil, and matzah wafers anointed with oil. Of wheaten flour shall you make them. And you shall put them into 1 basket, and bring them in the basket, with the bullock and the 2 rams. And Aaron and his sons you shall bring unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall wash them with water. And you shall take the garment and put upon Aaron the coat, and the robe of the ephod, and the breastplate, and gird him with the belt of the ephod. And you shall put the turban upon his head, and put the holy crown upon the turban. Then shall you take the anointing oil, and pour it upon his head, and anoint him. And he shall bring his sons, and put coats upon them. And he shall gird them with belts, Aaron and his sons, and put the bonnets on them. And the priest's office shall be theirs for a perpetual statute. And you shall consecrate Aaron and his sons. And you shall cause a bullock to be brought before the tabernacle of the assembly, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the bullock. And you shall kill the bullock before Yahweh, by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And you shall take the blood of the bullock, and put it upon the horns of the altar with your finger, and pour all the blood beside the bottom of the altar. And you shall take all the fat that covers the inwards, and the caul that is above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and burn them upon the altar. But the flesh of the bullock, and his skin, and his dung, shall you burn with fire without the camp. It is a sin offering. You shall also take 1 ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram, and you shall slay the ram, and you shall take his blood, and sprinkle it round about upon the altar. And you shall cut the ram in pieces, and wash the inwards of him, and his legs, and put them unto his pieces, and unto his head. And ye shall burn the whole ram upon the altar. It is a burnt offering unto Yahweh. It is a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And you shall take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. And you shall kill the ram, and take his blood, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and upon the tip of the right ear of his sons, and upon the thumb of their right hand, and upon the great toe of their right foot, and sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And ye shall take the blood that is upon the altar, and of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon the garments of his sons with him, and he shall be hallowed, and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. Also you shall take of the ram the fat and the rump, and the fat that covers the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and the right shoulder, for it is a ram of consecration. And 1 loaf of bread, and 1 cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer out of the basket of the matzah that is before Yahweh. And you shall put it all in the hands of Aaron, and in the hands of his sons, and shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And you shall receive them of their hands, and burn them upon the altar for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor before Yahweh. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And you shall take the breast of the ram of Aaron's consecration, and wave it for a wave offering before Yahweh, and it shall be your part. And you shall sanctify the breast of the wave offering, and the shoulder of the heave offering, which is waved, and which is heaved up, of the ram of the consecration, even of that which is for Aaron, and of that which is for his sons. And it shall be Aaron and his sons by a statute forever from the children of Yasharel, for it is a heave offering, and it shall be a heave offering from the children of Yasharel, of the sacrifice of their peace offerings, even their heave offering unto Yahweh. And the holy garments of Aaron shall be his sons after him, to be anointed therein, and to be consecrated in them. And that son that is priest in his stead shall put them on 7 days, when he comes into the tabernacle of the assembly to minister in the holy place. And you shall take the ram of the consecration,
and seethe his flesh in the holy place. And Aaron and his sons shall eat the flesh of the ram, and the bread that is in the basket by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And they shall eat those things wherewith the atonement was made, to consecrate and to sanctify them. But a stranger shall not eat thereof, because they are holy. And if aught of the flesh of the consecrations, or of the bread, remain unto the morning, then you shall burn the remainder with fire. It shall not be eaten, because it is holy. And thus shall you do unto Aaron and to his sons, according to all things which I have commanded you. 7 days shall you consecrate them. And you shall offer every day a bullock for a sin offering, for atonement. And you shall cleanse the altar when you have made an atonement for it, and you shall anoint it to sanctify it. 7 days you shall make an atonement for the altar, and sanctify it, and it shall be an altar most holy. Whatsoever touches the altar shall be holy. Now this is that which you shall offer upon the altar: 2 lambs of the first year, day by day, continually. The one lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer at evening. And with the one lamb 1/10 deal of flour, mingled with the 4th part of a hin of beaten oil, and the 4th part of a hin of wine, for a drink offering. And the other lamb you shall offer at evening, and shall do thereto according to the meat offering of the morning, and according to the drink offering thereof, for a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. This shall be a continual burnt offering throughout your generations, at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, before Yahweh, where I will meet you, to speak there unto you. And there I will meet with the children of Yasharel, and the tabernacle shall be sanctified by my glory. And I will sanctify the tabernacle of the assembly and the altar, and I will sanctify also both Aaron and his sons to minister to me in the priest's office. And I will dwell among the children of Yasharel, and will be their Elohim. And they shall know that I am Yahuwah Elohim, that brought them forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, that I may dwell among them. I am Yahuwah Elohim.
Shemot, Exodus chapter 30.
And you shall make an altar to burn incense upon. Of shittim wood shall you make it. A cubit shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof. 4 square shall it be, and 2 cubits shall be the height thereof. The horns thereof shall be of the same. And you shall overlay it with pure gold, the top thereof and the sides thereof round about, and the horns thereof. And you shall make unto it a crown of gold round about. And 2 golden rings shall you make it under the crown of it. By the 2 corners thereof, upon the 2 sides of it, shall you make it, and they shall be for places for the staves to bear it withal. And you shall make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And you shall put it before the veil that is by the ark of the testimony, before the mercy seat that is over the testimony, where I will meet with you. And Aaron shall burn thereon sweet incense every morning. When he dresses the lamps, he shall burn incense upon it. And when Aaron lights the lamp at evening, he shall burn incense upon it, a perpetual incense before Yahweh throughout your generations. Ye shall offer no strange incense thereon, nor burn sacrifice, nor meat offering, neither shall ye pour drink offering thereon. And Aaron shall make an atonement upon the horns of it once in a year, with the blood of the sin offering of atonement. Once in the year shall he make atonement upon it throughout your generations. It is most holy unto Yahweh.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
When you take the sum of the children of Yasharel after their number, then shall they give every man a ransom for his soul unto Yahweh, when you number them, that there be no plague among them when you number them. This they shall give, every one that passes among them that are numbered, 1/2 shekel, after the shekel of the sanctuary. A shekel is 20 gerahs. A 1/2 shekel shall be the offering of Yahweh. Every one that passes among them that are numbered, from 20 years old and above, shall give an offering unto Yahweh. The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less than 1/2 shekel, when they give an offering unto Yahweh to make an atonement for your souls. And you shall take the atonement money of the children of Yasharel, and shall appoint it for the service of the tabernacle of the assembly, that it may be a memorial unto the children of Yasharel before Yahweh, to make an atonement for your souls.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
You shall also make a laver of brass, and his foot also of brass, to wash withal, and ye shall put it between the tabernacle of the assembly and the altar, and ye shall put water therein. For Aaron and his sons shall wash their hands and their feet thereat. When they go into the tabernacle of the assembly, they shall wash with water, that they die not, or when they come near to the altar to minister, to burn offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. So they shall wash their hands and their feet, that they die not, and it shall be a statute forever to them, even to him and to his seed throughout their generations.
And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Take also unto you principal spices of pure myrrh, 500 shekels, and of sweet cinnamon, half so much, even 250 shekels, and of sweet calamus, 250 shekels, and of cassia, 500 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, and of olive oil, a hin. And you shall make it an oil of holy ointment, an ointment compound after the art of the apothecary. It shall be holy anointing oil. And ye shall anoint the tabernacle of the assembly therewith, and the ark of the testimony, and the table and all his vessels, and the menorah and his vessels, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offering with all his vessels, and the laver and his foot. And ye shall sanctify them, that they may be most holy. Whatsoever touches them shall be holy. And you shall anoint Aaron and his sons, and consecrate them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And you shall speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, This shall be a holy anointing oil unto me throughout your generations. Upon man's flesh shall it not be poured, neither shall ye make any other like it. After the composition of it, it is holy, and it shall be holy unto you. Whosoever compounds any like it, or whosoever puts any of it upon a stranger, shall even be cut off from his people.
And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Take unto you sweet spices, stacte, and onycha, and galbanum. These sweet spices and pure frankincense of each shall be a like weight. And you shall make it a perfume, a confection after the art of the apothecary, tempered together, pure and holy. And you shall beat some of it very small, and put of it before the testimony in the tabernacle of the assembly, where I will meet with you. It shall be unto you most holy. And as for the perfume which you shall make, ye shall not make to yourselves according to the composition thereof. It shall be unto you holy for Yahuwah. Whosoever shall make like unto that, to smell thereto, shall even be cut off from his people.
Shemot, Exodus chapter 31. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying,
See, I have called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hori, of the tribe of Yehudah, and I have filled him with the Ruach Elohim, in wisdom and in understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, to devise cunning works, to work in gold, and in silver, and in brass, and in cutting of stones, to set them, and in carving of timber, to work in all manner of workmanship. And I, behold, I have given with him Aholiab, the son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, and in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted I have put wisdom, that they may make all that I have commanded you. The tabernacle of the assembly, the ark of the testimony, the mercy seat that is thereupon, and all the furniture of the tabernacle, and the table and his furniture, and the pure menorah with all his furniture, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offering, with all his furniture, and the laver and his foot, and the cloths of service for Aaron the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister in the priest's office, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense for the holy place. According to all that I have commanded you, shall they do.
And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak also unto the children of Yasharel, saying, Truly my Shabbatot ye shall guard, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am Yahuwah Mekodeshim, Yahuwah who sanctifies you. Ye shall guard the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Every one that defiles it shall surely be put to death, for whosoever does any work thereon, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days may work be done, but in the 7th is the Sabbath of rest, holy unto Yahuwah. Whosoever does any work in the Sabbath, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Yasharel shall guard the Sabbath, to keep the Sabbath throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Yasharel forever. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heavens and the earth, and on the 7th day he rested, and was refreshed.
And he gave unto Moshe, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 sapphires of testimony, sapphire stones, written with the finger of Elohim. Shemot, Exodus chapter 32. And when the people saw that Moshe delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron, and said unto him,
Up, make us Elohim, which shall go before us. As for this Moshe, the man that brought us up out of the land of Mitzrayim, we know not what is become of him.
And Aaron said unto them,
Break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your women, of your sons and of your daughters, and bring them unto me.
And the people broke off the golden earrings which were in the ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said,
These be your Elohim, O Yasharel, which brought you up out of the land of Mitzrayim.
And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said,
Tomorrow is a feast to Yahuwah.
And they rose up early on the morrow, and offered burnt offerings, and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink, and rose up to play. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe,
Go, get you down, for your people, which you brought out of the land of Mitzrayim, have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be your Elohim, O Yasharel, which have brought you up out of the land of Mitzrayim.
And Yahuwah said unto Moshe,
I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of you a great nation.
And Moshe besought Yahuwah Eloheinu, and said,
Yahuwah, why does your wrath wax hot against your people, which you have brought forth out of the land of Mitzrayim with great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Mitzrayim speak and say, For mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from your fierce wrath, and repent of this evil against your people. Remember Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yasharel, your servants, to whom you swore by your own self, and said unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven. And all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever.
And Yahuwah repented of the evil which he thought to do unto his people. And Moshe turned, and went down from the mount, and the 2 sapphires of the testimony were in his hand. The sapphires were written on both their sides, on the one side and on the other were they written. And the sapphires were the work of Elohim, and their writing was the writing of Elohim, graven upon the sapphires. And when Yahusha heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said unto Moshe,
There is noise of war in the camp!
And he said,
It is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is it the voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear.
And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing. And Moshe's anger waxed hot, and he cast the sapphires out of his hands, and broke them beneath the mount. And he took the calf which they had made, and burnt it in the fire, and ground it to powder, and strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Yasharel drink of it. And Moshe said unto Aaron,
What did this people unto you, that you have brought so great a sin upon them?
And Aaron said,
Let not the anger of my lord wax hot. You know the people, that they are set on mischief. For they said unto me, Make us Elohim,
which shall go before us. For as for this Moshe, the man that brought us up out of the land of Mitzrayim, we know not what is become of him. And I said unto them, Whosoever has any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me, and I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf.
And when Moshe saw that the people were naked, for Aharon had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies, then Moshe stood in the gate of the camp and said,
Who is on Yahweh's side? Let him come unto me.
And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. And he said unto them,
Thus says Yahweh Elohai of Yasharel, Put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor.
And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moshe, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men. For Moshe had said,
Consecrate yourselves today to Yahweh, even every man upon his son, and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day.
It came to pass on the morrow that Moshe said unto the people,
Ye have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto El Yahweh. Perchance I shall make an atonement for your sin.
And Moshe returned unto El Yahweh and said,
Oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them Elohai of gold. Yet now, if you will forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray you, out of your Cepher which you have written.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Whosoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my Cepher. Therefore now go, lead the people into the place of which I have spoken unto you. Behold, my angel shall go before you. Nevertheless, in the day when I visit, I will visit their sin upon them.
And Yahweh plagued the people, because they made the calf which Aharon made. Shemot, Exodus chapter 33. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Depart, and go up hence, you and the people which you have brought up out of the land of Mitzrayim, unto the land which I swore unto Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov, saying, Unto your seed will I give it. And I will send an angel before you, and I will drive out the Kenai, the Amorai, the Hittite, the Perizzai, the Hivi, and the Jebusai, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, for I will not go up in the midst of you, for you are a stiff-necked people, lest I consume you in the way.
And when the people heard the evil report, they mourned. And no man did put on him his ornaments. For Yahweh had said unto Moshe,
Say unto the children of Yasharel, Ye are a stiff-necked people. I will come up into the midst of you in a moment, and consume you. Therefore now put off your ornaments from you, that I may know what to do unto you.
And the children of Yasharel stripped themselves of their ornaments by the Mount Horeb. And Moshe took the tabernacle, and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of the assembly. And it came to pass that everyone which sought Yahweh went out unto the tabernacle of the assembly, which was without the camp. And it came to pass, when Moshe went out unto the tabernacle, that all the people rose up, and stood every man at his tent door, and looked after Moshe until he was gone into the tabernacle. And it came to pass, as Moshe entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended, and stood at the door of the tabernacle, and Yahweh talked with Moshe. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose up and worshipped, every man in his tent door. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe face to face, as a man speaks unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp, but his servant Yahusha, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. And Moshe said unto Eliyahu,
See, you say unto me, Bring up this people, and you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found grace in my sight. Now therefore, I pray you, if I have found grace in your sight, show me now your way, that I may know you, that I may find grace in your sight, and consider that this nation is your people.
And he said,
My presence shall go with you, and I will give you rest.
And he said unto him, If your presence go not with me, carry us not up hence. For wherein shall it be known here that I and your people have found grace in your sight? Is it not in that you go with us? So shall we be separated, I and your people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
I will do this thing also that you have spoken, for you have found grace in my sight, and I know you by name.
And he said,
I beseech you, show me your glory.
And he said,
I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of Yahuwah before you, and will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy.
And he said,
You cannot see my face, for there shall no man see me and live.
And Yahweh said,
Behold, there is a place by me, and you shall stand upon a rock. And it shall come to pass, while my glory passes by, that I will put you in the cleft of the rock, and will cover you with my hand while I pass by. And I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen.
Shemot, Exodus chapter 34. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Hew you 2 sapphire stones like unto the first, and I will write upon these sapphires the words that were in the first sapphires, which you broke. And be ready in the morning, and come up in the morning unto Mount Sinai, and present yourself there to me in the top of the mount. And no man shall come up with you, neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount, neither let the flocks nor herds feed before that mount.
And he hewed 2 sapphire stones like unto the first. And Moshe rose up early in the morning, and went up unto Mount Sinai as Yahweh had commanded him, and took in his hand the 2 sapphire stones. And Yahweh descended in the cloud, and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of Yahuwah. And Yahweh passed by before him, and proclaimed,
Yahuwah, Yahuwah El, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children, unto the 3rd and 4th generation.
And Moshe made haste, and bowed his head toward the earth, and worshipped. And he said,
If now I have found grace in your sight, O Adonai, let my Adonai, I pray you, go among us, for it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for your inheritance.
And he said,
Behold, I cut a covenant before all your people. I will do wonders, such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation, and all the people among which you are shall see the work of Yahuwah. For it is a terrible thing that I will do with you. Guard that which I command you this day. Behold, I drive out before you the Emorai, the Kenani, the Hittite, and the Perizzai, and the Hivai, and the Yebusai. Take heed to yourselves, lest you cut a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither you go, lest it be for a snare in the midst of you. But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their Asherah poles. For you shall worship no other El, for Yahuwah Kana. Yahuwah is jealous, is my name. He is a jealous El. Lest you cut a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a-whoring after their Elohim, and do sacrifice unto their Elohim, and one call you, and you eat of his sacrifice, and take of their daughters unto your sons, and their daughters go a-whoring after their Elohim, and make your sons go a-whoring after their Elohim. You shall make no molten Elohai. The feast of matzah, unleavened bread, shall you guard. 7 days you shall eat matzah, unleavened bread, as I commanded you, in the time of the month of Eve. For in the month of Eve you came out from Mitzrayim. All that opens the womb is mine, and every firstling among your cattle, whether ox or sheep, that is male. But the firstling of an ass you shall redeem with a lamb, and if you redeem him not, then shall you break his neck. All the firstborn of your sons you shall redeem, and none shall appear before me empty. 6 days you shall work, but on the 7th day you shall rest. In earing time and in harvest you shall rest. And you shall observe the feast of Katsir, harvest, of the first fruits of wheat harvest, and the feast of Asif, ingathering, at the year's end. Thrice in the year shall all your men children appear before Adonai Yahuwah, the Elohai of Yasharel. For I will cast out the nations before you, and enlarge your borders. Neither shall any man desire your land, when you shall go up to appear before Yahuwah Elohika thrice in the year. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leaven, neither shall the sacrifice of the feast of the Pesach be left unto the morning. The first of the first fruits of your land you shall bring into the house of Yahuwah Elohika. You shall not see the kid in his mother's milk.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Write these words, for after the tenor of these words I have cut a covenant with you and with Yasharel.
And he was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the sapphires the words of the covenant, the 10 Devarim. And it came to pass, when Moshe came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 sapphires of testimony in Moshe's hand, when he came down from the mount, that Moshe knew not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him. And when Aharon and all the children of Yasharel saw Moshe, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come nigh him. And Moshe called unto them, and Aharon and all the rulers of the assembly returned unto him, and Moshe talked with them. And afterward, all the children of Yasharel came nigh, and he gave them in commandment all that Yahweh had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. And till Moshe had done speaking with him, he put a veil on his face. But when Moshe went in before Yahweh to speak with him, he took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and spoke unto the children of Yasharel, which he was commanded. And the children of Yasharel saw the face of Moshe, that the skin of Moshe's face shone. And Moshe put the veil upon his face again until he went in to speak with him. Shemot, Exodus chapter 35. And Moshe gathered all the assembly of the children of Yasharel together, and said unto them,
These are the words which Yahweh has commanded, that ye should do them. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be to you a holy day, a Shabbat of rest to Yahweh. Whosoever does work thereon shall be put to death. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath.
And Moshe spoke unto all the assembly of the children of Yasharel, saying,
This is the thing which Yahweh commanded, saying, Take ye from among you an offering unto Yahweh. Whosoever is of a willing heart, let him bring it, an offering of Yahweh, gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair, and ram skins dyed red, and badger skins, and shittim wood, and oil for the light, and spices for anointing oil, and for the sweet incense, and onyx stones, and stones to be set for the ephod, and for the breastplate. And every wise-hearted among you shall come, and make all that Yahweh has commanded: the tabernacle, his tent, and his covering, his taches, and his boards, his bars, his pillars, and his sockets, the ark, and the staves thereof, with the mercy seat, and the veil of covering, the table, and his staves, and all his vessels, and the showbread, the menorah, also for the light, and his furniture, and his lamps, with the oil for the light, and the incense altar, and his staves, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the door at the entering in of the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offering, with his brazen grate, his staves, and all his vessels, the laver and his foot, the hangings of the court, his pillars, and their sockets, and the hanging for the door of the court, the pins of the tabernacle, and the pins of the court, and their cords, the cloths of service, to do service in the holy place, the holy garments for Aharon the priest, and the garments of his sons, to minister in the priest's office,
And all the assembly of the children of Yashar'el departed from the presence of Moshe. And they came, everyone whose heart stirred him up, and everyone whom his ruach made willing, and they brought Yahweh's offering to the work of the tabernacle of the assembly, and for all his service, and for the holy garments. And they came, both men and women, as many as were willing-hearted, and brought bracelets and earrings and rings and tablets, all jewels of gold. And every man that offered an offering of gold unto Yahweh. And every man with whom was found blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair and red skins of rams and badger skins brought them. Everyone that did offer an offering of silver and brass brought Yahweh's offering. And every man with whom was found shittim wood for any work of the service brought it. And all the women that were wise-hearted did spin with their hands, and brought that which they had spun, both of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine linen. And all the women whose heart stirred them up in wisdom spun goat's hair. And the rulers brought onyx stones, and stones to be set for the ephod and for the breastplate, and spice, and oil for the light, and for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense. The children of Yashar'el brought a willing offering unto Yahweh, every man and woman, whose heart made them willing to bring for all the manner of work, which Yahweh had commanded to be made by the hand of Moshe. And Moshe said unto the children of Yashar'el,
See, Yahweh has called by name Betzalel, the son of Uri, the son of Horai, of the tribe of Yehudah, and he has filled him with the Ruach Elohim, in wisdom, in understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, and to devise curious works, to work in gold, and in silver, and in brass, and in the cutting of stones, to set them, and in carving of wood, to make any manner of cunning work. And he has put in his heart that he may teach both he and Aholiab, the son of Achisamach, of the tribe of Dan. Them has he filled with wisdom of heart, to work all manner of work, of the engraver, and of the cunning workman, and of the embroiderer, in blue, and in purple, in scarlet, and in fine linen, and of the weaver, even of them that do any work, and of those that devise cunning work.
Shemot, Exodus chapter 36. Then wrought Betzalel and Aholiab, and every wise-hearted man, in whom Yahweh put wisdom and understanding, to know how to work all manner of work for the service of the sanctuary, according to all that Yahweh had commanded. And Moshe called Betzalel and Aholiab, and every wise-hearted man, in whose heart Yahweh had put wisdom, even everyone whose heart stirred him up to come unto the work to do it. And they received of Moshe all the offering, which the children of Yashar'el had wrought for the work of the service of the sanctuary, to make it withal. And they brought yet unto him free offerings every morning. And all the wise men that wrought all the work of the sanctuary came every man from his work which they had made. And they spoke unto Moshe, saying,
The people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which Yahweh commanded to make.
And Moshe gave commandment, and they caused it to be proclaimed throughout the camp, saying,
Let neither man nor woman make any more work for the offering of the sanctuary.
So the people were restrained from bringing, for the stuff they had was sufficient for all the work to make it, and too much. And every wise-hearted man among them that wrought the work of the tabernacle made 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue, and purple, and scarlet. With cherubim of cunning work made he them. The length of one curtain was 28 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits. The curtains were all of one size. And he coupled the 5 curtains one unto another, and the other 5 curtains he coupled one unto another. And he made loops of blue on the edge of one curtain from the selvage in the coupling. Likewise, he made in the uttermost side of another curtain in the coupling of the second. 50 loops made he in one curtain, and 50 loops made he in the edge of the curtain which was in the coupling of the second. The loops held one curtain to another. He made 50 taches of gold, and coupled the curtains one unto another with the taches. So it became one tabernacle. And he made curtains of goat's hair for the tent over the tabernacle, 11 curtains he made them. The length of one curtain was 30 cubits, and 4 cubits was the breadth of one curtain. 11 curtains were of one size. And he coupled the 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves. And he made 50 loops upon the uttermost edge of the curtain in the coupling, and 50 loops made he upon the edge of the curtain which couples the second. And he made 50 taches of brass to couple the tent together, that it might be one. And he made a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and a covering of badger skins above that. And he made the boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood, standing up. The length of a board was 10 cubits, and the breadth of a board 1 cubit and a half. One board had 2 tenons, equally distant one from another. Thus did he make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And he made the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards for the south side, southward. And 40 sockets of silver he made under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. And for the other side of the tabernacle, which is toward the north corner, he made 20 boards, and there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward, he made 6 boards, and 2 boards made he for the corners of the tabernacle in the 2 sides. And they were coupled beneath, and coupled together at the head thereof, to one ring. Thus he did to both of them in both of the corners. And there were 8 boards, and their sockets were 16 sockets of silver, and under every board 2 sockets. And he made bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the tabernacle for the sides westward. And he made the middle bar to shoot through the boards from the one end to the other. And he overlaid the boards with gold, and made their rings of gold, to be places for the bars, and overlaid the bars with gold. And he made a veil of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. With cherubim he made it of cunning work. And he made thereunto 4 pillars of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold. Their hooks were of gold. And he cast for them 4 sockets of silver. And he made a hanging for the tabernacle door of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen of needlework. And the 5 pillars of it, their hooks, and he overlaid their chapiters and their fillets with gold. But their 5 sockets were of brass. Shemot, Exodus chapter 37. And Bezalel made the ark of shittim wood. 2 cubits and a half was the length of it, and a cubit and a half the breadth of it, and a cubit and a half the height of it. And he overlaid it with pure gold, within and without, and made a crown of gold to it round about. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold, to be set by the 4 corners of it, even 2 rings upon the one side of it, and 2 rings upon the other side of it. And he made staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, to bear the ark. And he made the mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half was the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And he made 2 cherubim of gold, beaten out of one piece made he them, on the 2 ends of the mercy seat. 1 cherub on the end of this side, and another cherub on the other end of that side. Out of the mercy seat made he the cherubim on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubim spread out their wings on high, and covered with their wings over the mercy seat, with their faces one to another. Even to the mercy seatward were the faces of the cherubim. And he made the table of shittim wood. 2 cubits was the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And he overlaid it with pure gold, and made thereunto a crown of gold round about. Also he made thereunto a border of a handbreadth round about, and made a crown of gold for the border thereof round about. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings upon the 4 corners that were in the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border were the rings, the places for the staves to bear the table. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold, to bear the table. And he made the vessels which were upon the table, his dishes, and his spoons, and his bowls, and his covers to cover withal of pure gold. And he made the menorah of pure gold, of beaten work he made the menorah, his shaft, and his branch, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers were of the same. And 6 branches going out of the sides thereof, 3 branches of the menorah out of the one side thereof, and 3 branches of the menorah out of the other side thereof. 3 bowls made after the fashion of almonds in one branch, a knop and a flower, and 3 bowls made like almonds in another branch, a knop and a flower. So throughout the 6 branches going out of the menorah. And in the menorah were 4 bowls made like almonds, his knops and his flowers, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches going out of it. Their knops and their branches were of the same. All of it was one beaten work of pure gold. And he made his 7 lamps, and his snuffers, and his snuff dishes of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold made he it, and all the vessels thereof. And he made the incense altar of shittim wood. The length of it was a cubit, and the breadth of it a cubit. It was 4 square. 2 cubits was the height of it. The horns thereof were of the same. And he overlaid it with pure gold, both the top of it and the sides thereof round about. And the horns of it also he made unto it a crown of gold round about. And he made 2 rings of gold for it under the crown thereof, by the 2 corners of it, upon the 2 sides thereof, to be places for the staves to bear it withal. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the holy anointing oil, and the pure incense of sweet spices, according to the work of the apothecary. Shemot, Exodus chapter 38. And he made the altar of burnt offering of shittim wood. 5 cubits was the length thereof, and 5 cubits the breadth thereof. It was 4 square, and 3 cubits the height thereof. And he made the horns thereof on the 4 corners of it. The horns thereof were of the same, and he overlaid it with brass. And he made all the vessels of the altar, the pots, and the shovels, and the basins, and the flesh hooks, and the fire pans. All the vessels thereof he made of brass. And he made for the altar a brazen grate of network under the compass thereof, beneath unto the midst of it. And he cast 4 rings for the 4 ends of the grate of brass, to be places for the staves. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with brass. And he put the staves into the rings on the sides of the altar, to bear it withal. He made the altar hollow with boards. And he made the laver of brass, and the foot of it brass, of the looking glasses of the women assembling, which assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he made the court on the south side southward. The hangings of the court were of fine twined linen, 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their brazen sockets 20. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets were of silver. And for the north side the hangings were 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their sockets of brass 20. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the west side were hangings of 50 cubits. Their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the east side, eastward, 50 cubits. The hangings of the one side of the gate were 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the other side of the court gate, on this hand and on that hand, were hangings of 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. All the hangings of the court round about were of fine twined linen, and the sockets for the pillars were of brass, the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver, and the overlaying of their chapiters of silver, and all the pillars of the court were filleted with silver. And the hanging for the gate of the court was needlework of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, and 20 cubits was the length, and the height in the breadth was 5 cubits, answerable to the hangings of the court. And their pillars were 4, and their sockets of brass 4, their hooks of silver, and the overlaying of their chapiters and their fillets of silver. And all the pins of the tabernacle and of the court round about were of brass. This is the sum of the tabernacle, even of the tabernacle of the assembly, as it was counted according to the commandment of Moshe, for the service of the Leviim, by the hand of Ithamar, son to Aharon the priest. And Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Horai, of the tribe of Yehudah, made all that Yahweh commanded Moshe, and with him was Aholivav, son of Achisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver, and a cunning workman, and an embroiderer in blue, and in purple, and in scarlet, and fine linen. All the gold that was occupied for the work in all the work of the holy place, even the gold of the offering, was 29 talents, and 730 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver of them that were numbered of the assembly was 100 talents, and 100,715 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. A beka for every man, that is, half a shekel, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for everyone that went to be numbered from 20 years old and upward, for 600,000 and 3,550 men. And of the 100 talents of silver were cast the sockets of the sanctuary, and the sockets of the veil, 100 sockets of 100 talents, a talent for a socket. And of the 1,775 shekels he made hooks for the pillars, and overlaid their chapiters, and filleted them. And the brass of the offering was 70 talents, and 2,400 shekels. And therewith he made the sockets to the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and the brazen altar, and the brazen grate for it, and all the vessels of the altar, and the sockets of the court round about, and the sockets of the court gate, and all the pins of the tabernacle, and all the pins of the court round about. Shemot, Exodus chapter 39. And of the blue, and purple, and scarlet, they made cloths of service, to do service in the holy place, and made the holy garments for Aharon, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he made the ephod of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And they did beat the gold into thin plates, and cut it into wires, to work it in the blue, and in the purple, and in the scarlet, and in the fine linen, with cunning work. They made shoulder pieces for it, to couple it together. By the two edges was it coupled together. And the belt of his ephod, that was upon it, was of the same, according to the work thereof, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And they wrought onyx stones enclosed in ouches of gold, graven as signets are graven, with the names of the children of Yasharel. And he put them on the shoulders of the ephod, that they should be stones for a memorial to the children of Yasharel, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he made the breastplate of cunning work, like the work of the ephod, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. It was foursquare. They made the breastplate double. A span was the length thereof, and a span the breadth thereof, being doubled. And they set in it 4 rows of stones. The first row was a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This was the first row. And the second row, an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in ouches of gold in their enclosings. And the stones were according to the names of the children of Yasharel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, every one with his name according to the 12 tribes. And they made upon the breastplate chains at the end of wreathen work of pure gold. And they made 2 ouches of gold and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings in the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate. And the 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains they fastened in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And they made 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, upon the border of it, which was on the side of the ephod inward. And they made 2 other golden rings, and put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, toward the forepart of it, over against the other coupling thereof, above the belt of the ephod. And they did bind the breastplate by his rings unto the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it might be above the belt of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not be loosed from the ephod, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he made the robe of the ephod of woven work, all of blue. And there was a hole in the midst of the robe, as the hole of a habergeon, with a band round about the hole, that it should not rend. And they made upon the hems of the robe pomegranates of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and twined linen. And they made bells of pure gold, and the bells between the pomegranates unto the hem of the robe, round about between the pomegranates. A bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate, round about the hem of the robe to minister in, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And they made coats of fine linen of woven work for Aharon, and for his sons, and a turban of fine linen, and goodly bonnets of fine linen, and linen breeches of fine twined linen, and a belt of fine twined linen, and blue, and purple, and scarlet of needlework, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote it upon a writing, like the engravings of a signet, Kodesh El Yahweh. And they tied it unto a lace of blue, to fasten it on high upon the turban, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. Thus was all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly finished. And the children of Yasharel did according to all that Yahweh commanded Moshe, so did they. And they brought the tabernacle unto El Moshe, the tent, and all his furniture, his taches, his boards, his bars, and his pillars, and his sockets, and the covering of ram skins dyed red, and the covering of badger skins, and the veil of the covering, the ark of the testimony, and the staves thereof, and the mercy seat, the table, and all the vessels thereof, and the showbread, the pure menorah, with the lamps thereof, even with the lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and the oil for light, and the golden altar, the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the tabernacle door, the brazen altar, his grate of brass, his staves, and all his vessels, the laver, and his foot, the hangings of the court, his pillars, his sockets, and the hanging for the court gate, his cords, and his pins, and all the vessels of the service of the tabernacle, for the tent of the assembly, the cloths of service to do service in the holy place, and the holy garments for Aharon the priest, and for his sons' garments to minister in the priest's office, according to all that Yahweh commanded Moshe. So the children of Yasharel made all the work. And Moshe did look upon all the work, and behold, they had done it as Yahweh had commanded. Even so had they done it, and Moshe blessed them. Shemot, Exodus chapter 40. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
On the first day of the first month shall you set up the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly, and you shall put therein the ark of the testimony, and cover the ark with the veil. And you shall bring the table, and set in order the things that are to be set in order upon it. You shall bring the menorah, and light the lamps thereof. And you shall set the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony, and put the hangings of the door to the tabernacle. And you shall set the altar of burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly. And you shall set the laver between the tent of the assembly and the altar, and shall put water therein. And you shall set the court round about, and hang up the hanging at the court gate. And you shall take the anointing oil, and anoint the tabernacle, and all that is therein, and shall hallow it, and all the vessels thereof, and it shall be holy. And you shall anoint the altar of the burnt offering, and all his vessels, and sanctify the altar, and it shall be an altar most holy. And you shall anoint the laver and his foot, and sanctify it. And you shall bring Aharon and his sons unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and wash them with water. And you shall put upon Aharon the holy garments, and anoint him, and sanctify him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And you shall bring his sons, and clothe them with coats. And you shall anoint them, as you anointed their father, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office, for their anointing shall surely be an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations.
Thus did Moshe, according to all that Yahweh commanded him, so did he. And it came to pass in the first month in the second year, on the first day of the month, that the tabernacle was reared up. And Moshe reared up the tabernacle, and fastened his sockets, and set up the boards thereof, and put in the bars thereof, and reared up his pillars. And he spread abroad the tent over the tabernacle, and put the covering of the tent above upon it, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he took and put the testimony into the ark, and set the staves on the ark, and put the mercy seat above upon the ark. And he brought the ark into the tabernacle, and set up the veil of the covering, and covered the ark of the testimony, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he put the table in the tent of the assembly, upon the side of the tabernacle northward without the veil. And he set the bread in order upon it before Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he put the menorah in the tent of the assembly over against the table on the side of the tabernacle southward. And he lighted the lamps before Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he put the golden altar in the tent of the assembly before the veil. And he burnt sweet incense thereon, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he set up the hanging at the door of the tabernacle. And he put the altar of burnt offering by the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly, and offered upon it the burnt offering and the meat offering, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he set the laver between the tent of the assembly and the altar, and put water therein to wash withal. And Moshe and Aharon and his sons washed their hands and their feet thereat, when they went into the tent of the assembly, and when they came near unto the altar, they washed, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he reared up the court round about the tabernacle and the altar, and set up the hanging of the court gate. So Moshe finished the work. Then a cloud covered the tent of the assembly, and the glory of Yahweh filled the tabernacle. And Moshe was not able to enter into the tent of the assembly, because the cloud abode thereon, and the glory of Yahweh filled the tabernacle. And when the cloud was taken up over the tabernacle, the children of Yasharel went onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud were not taken up, then they journeyed not till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of Yahweh was upon the tabernacle day by day, and fire on it by night, in the sight of all the house of Yasharel, throughout all their journeys.